to the Florkins. Right, Drax?
Yes.
Alrighty. Welcome back. Well, it's lagging a bit. Not sure why. Last time, or well, two last times, we read about a lot of stuff. We read about characters and factions and creatures. And we read about... No, we didn't read about places. Alright, so we finished with our creatures. And now it's time to continue with places. So we have the Quill Farm at the beginning. Originally built by Gene and Molly Quill, this humble earth farm in St. Charles, Missouri, produced and sold grain to the local community. It was inherited by their daughter, Meredith, who raised her son, Peter, on the property. While the family lived a relatively simple life, neighbors reported two separate incidents of unusual disturbances, such as loud noises and bright lights. Oh, loud noises and bright light. Well, that's very unusual. Indeed, country life. In a police report of the first occurrence, Meredith confessed to holding a large rock music party in the backfield. Oh no! Hundreds of reports of the second occurrence have all been heavily redacted and reveal no details. I guess that happens when the Chitauri invade. It's to be redacted. We have the Milano. You know, the ship where we are on right now. Formerly a fighter in the Ravager pirate fleet, the Milano has seen her share of combat and has been impounded numerous times for various charges. She's a warp-capable M-class ship with impressive scouting speed and a modified arsenal capable of downing much larger vessels. Nova Corps' record showed the Milano's involvement in the Galactic War, though the details have mostly been redacted. During those cycles, her repair records had listed her irreparably damaged on 3 different occasions. Apparently her pilot refuses to give up on her. I mean, irreparably damaged on 3 occasions and still it works. I mean, Rocket is a great engineer. Updated records have registered the Milano to the Gardeners of the Galaxy. All Ravager vessels follow the same designation pattern, naming the vessel after a wife or lover. We can assume the Milano is named for the current pilot's past love interest. Who was this Milano? Was she a pirate as well? We have Half-World. Whoa, that looks awesome. I like the artwork. Hello there. Reminds me a little bit about of Halo, just a little bit. Half-World. I mean, you know, that's a place where the Kree experimented and Rocket came to be. Half-World is a planet in the Keystone Quadrant, built almost directly in half, with one side covered in lush forest and the other one completely industrialized. As an important asset of the Kree Empire, Half-World was expected to bolster its military might with experimental weapon projects, primarily focusing on AI and robotics, such as massive Kree sentries. Yeah, we've seen one of those. I called it Kree Guardian. It's called a Kree Sentry. You know, we saw that in the Avengers, the bad game. Basically, let's play that earlier. They soon realized they had a valuable unexploited resource, animals living deep in the woods. Thus, the Kree hybrid program began. Abducted animals found themselves altered by bioengineering, their brains augmented with AI and their bodies physically enhanced. A rare few even gained sentience, which created several violent incidents and at least one reported escape. Rocket! The hybrids did go on to fight in the Galactic War, and most of them were sacrificed as acceptable losses while creating distractions or holding the line just a bit longer for the Kree soldiers to survive. Half-World has gone silent since the war, and it is unclear whether the experiments continue. And we have the quarantine zone, where this looks much more impressive than what we've seen in-game. The quarantine zone is a massive graveyard of galactic war debris, including wrecked vessels, giant robots, explosives and biological weapons. With no safe way to dispose of all this dangerous cargo, Nova Corps agreed to seal it all away in a protective sphere. The contents inside are bound together with an aggressive Ebrium-based nanoresin cluster foam. The foam will continue to expand and adhere to any surface, pulling all of the scrap together and eventually filling the sphere entirely. The process is currently ongoing, with new wreckage still hauled to the quarantine zone and added to the pile. Until the task is done, Complete, the Nova Corps frigate Hala's Hope continues to patrol the area to make sure any contraband stays out of the hands of would-be thieves. We also had the wrecked mining vessel, the beginning of the game. Several interstellar mining vessels can be found within the quarantine zone wreckage. Though they were not directly involved in the Galactic War, they were recovered from the DSOR mining colony after a deadly outbreak ravaged its fleet. Many of these plague ships were marked for containment. One particular ship appears to be the chosen nesting ground of a stray Acanti, but Nova Corps has not tried to capture the massive beast. The wreckage has been marked off-limits, clearly some sort of explosion ripped it apart from the inside, but the residual radiation is unlike anything on record. Unwilling to risk the health of Nova Corpsmen, the Heath... No, health. There's an L missing here. The game is a couple months old. Am I the only one reading through this stuff? I mean, I must be, since no one reported this. This is an obvious mistake. And it is still there, and the game is, what, half a year old? Am I really the only one reading all of this? Okay. The World Mind decided to seal the vessel inside an unresin tomb with the rest of the debris. We have Hala's Hope. You've seen that one, the big ship. Hala's Hope is a Nova Corps frigate currently tasked with patrolling the quarantine zone and assisting with peacekeeping in the surrounding sector. She is fully crewed with staff ranging from custodians to Nova Centurions, with Centurion Corel serving as a current captain. Like every Nova Corps vessel, Hala's Hope maintains a constant link with the Xandarian world mind through its bridge's Nexus hub. The frigate is equipped with heavy Nova Force weaponry, both lethal and incapacitating, and has significant capacity for impounded ships and prisoner transport. While the presence of a Nova Corps ship is intended to inspire peace and hope, it also serves as an intentional display of power to discourage criminal activity. Given the lethal nature of the wreckage contained in the quarantine zone, Hala's Hope has one of the most important missions in the Nova Corps. We of course have Sanctum IX. Oh, Gamora, us! Who's that? I said Rex. It's a strange depiction of Rex. I mean, it's Groot, of course. It's Rocket. Sanctum IX is known as much for its monstrous storms as for its monsters. It is a planet of extremes, with torrential rain and lightning storms battering the rocky peaks and a lush underjungle full of deadly predators below. Beast traders seeking to make a profit should know the planet's violent weather seasons and schedule to visit during those rather than risk a landing in the impenetrable weather seasons. Should know. It is a sanctuary world housing the galaxy's deadliest beasts which have free reign over the wild. Hunting is forbidden, but poachers who defy the law rarely escape the planet. Sanctum IX was famously neutral in the Galactic War, instead focused on its own civil war as its current ruler, Lady Hellbender, rose to power. Her authority encompasses the entire planet, and any business there must go through her. And we have Hellbender's Fortress. Lady Hellbender's Fortress on Sanctum IX serves many important functions. It is the grand palace of the world's unquestioned ruler, an awesome display of her power, a center for monster traders and diplomats to barter with the Monster Queen, a barracks and hangar for her impressive army, and, perhaps most importantly, a pen for breeding and caring for extensive collection of terrible beasts. The fortress was originally a religious temple built by Sanctum IX's oppressive ruling priests and was designed to worship their monster gods. Many lives were taken within these walls, both from cycles and cycles of sacrifice. And the bloody both from cycles and cycles of sacrifice. That doesn't make sense. There's something missing here. I am the only one reading through this. That's just odd. And the bloody slaughter of the priests themselves when Lady Hellbender rose against them. We have the Rock. No, the big one, not a small one. Built into the side of a large asteroid in the Tayo system, the Rock is a primary Nova Corps station tasked with overseeing all peacekeeping operations for a dozen sectors. It is a deep space extension of New Xandar, allowing consultation and diplomacy with the World Mind, as well as serving as a dispatch for Nova Corps operations. Thousands of Nova Corps workers live within the Rock and help to maintain the station, oversee more business-related tasks, and provide law enforcement. After the Galactic War left Nova Corps in ruin, reconstruction efforts focused simultaneously on New Xandar and the Rock. The World Mind believed that the Corps could not remain on the defensive, but would need to extend their presence back in the galaxy at large. We have Nowhere, you know, the big head of a Celestial. This definitely hits harder after watching the Eternals. Nowhere. The last spaceport on the edge of the known universe, Nowhere, drifts precariously along the edge of the rift. Long before it was a bustling city, it was a nameless research station built inside the gigantic, severed head of one of the godlike Celestials. Research quickly turned a profit as various illegal mining operations set up to harvest the potential brain matter. The commercial side of Nowhere sprang up to feed and service the researchers turned miners. Food supplies became a plethora of market kiosks offering cuisine from every corner of the galaxy. Shelters became brothels and bars. Many soon traded their mining tools for untraceable firearms as they moved towards back-alley deals, assassination contracts, and smuggling operations. The station's head of security, Cosmo, the Soviet dog, you know, maintains a loose kind of order, keeping the various criminal factions from tearing the place apart, while allowing them their questionable operations so business can continue. Nowhere sits outside the jurisdiction of Nova Corps and remains neutral in galactic conflicts. And we have Mandlers Bar, you know, the one where Rocket wanted to see us die. Unless you're in the market for criminal contracts or looking for goons, it is ill-advised to have a drink in Mandlers Bar. This watering hole for Nowhere's shadiest denizens has a nasty reputation, and not just for its low hygiene standards. Many of the galaxy's biggest heists, abductions, and assassinations have been plotted between these grimy walls. Mandlers is a place where even the bartender can be trusted to sell a secret. What? Once seated inside the bar, a patron is assumed to be buying or selling something illegal. Nowhere Chief of Security Cosmo turns a blind eye to Mandlers as part of an agreement with a criminal element to keep the peace. But many suspect he's listening in telepathically for any direct threats to the station. And we have the Collectors Emporium, of course, also on Nowhere. You know, Tunnelier Tavan, we met him in the movie. What? Is that Kermit the Frog? No. There's no Kermit the Frog. The Collectors Emporium, a showcase for some of the most powerful weapons, artifacts, and beings in the galaxy. The Emporium is a personal collection of Tunnelier Tavan, aka the Collector. And Tavan claims he's an elder of the universe, duty-bound to preserve and protect items too dangerous or too unique to be allowed to their freedom. His right to do so is often the subject of violent discussion. The Collectors Emporium is currently stationed in Nowhere, where visitors can pay a modest ticket price to view his prized possession. The collection poses no risk to Nowhere itself, as the pieces are not physically represented in our reality. What? Not since the theft of his precious Groot from Planet X. Okay, the pieces are not physically present in our reality. Well, that's an interesting Collectors Emporium. We have the Rift. The darkness. The Rift, sometimes called the Rip by locals, is the end of the universe. Full stop. Scientists believe that all matter, time and reality itself, disintegrates as it is slowly pulled into the hungry maw. Others believe it is a wormhole into another timeline, or even a galaxy with completely alien physics, but any exploratory technology sent into the Rift is pulverized upon approach. Some religions have proposed that it's a gateway into eternal punishment for a sinful life or great drain opened to erase a failed galactic experiment, so that the gods can begin anew. Pilgrims from across the galaxy have made their way to Nowhere to gaze into this menacing abyss, this anti-creation. The harrowing experience. What? Anti? Antimatter? A certain Illuminati story wants to know your antimatter bomb location. The harrowing experience has led to countless holy books and modified prophecies. Many of Nowhere's laborers gather before it each morning, pondering their own mortality before heading to work. Pondering your own morality before heading to work can be beneficial to your will to survive. The Continuum Cortex, you know, the big one, Rumors travel fast on the Nowhere station. Speculation about the dead Celestial's remaining power is an old tradition. Whispers suggest that the brain stem has been reactivated to allow travel through space, dimensions, and perhaps even time itself. However, control of the Cortex is strictly protected by the station's security chief, Cosmo, and his loyal pack of security guards. Everybody's heard from a friend of a friend who claims to have traveled through the Cortex, supposedly riding an enormous five-fingered hand made of pure energy. Some stories speak of quick glimpses of various alternate timelines along the way. Others suggest these are just hallucinations caused by the extreme mental stress of hurling one's particles through space. Cosmo refuses to discuss the matter. And we have Sacrosanct, this ginormous big-ass station from the evil religious fanatists. A Sacrosanct is assumed to be the current capital ship for the Universal Church of Truth, recently making its presence known after the cult's presumed collapse. As a former DSOR, a deep space ore acquisition mining vessel, it is sized to house and support an entire colony, while also facilitating the drilling, collection and storage of large amounts of ore. It is also equipped with a full array of defense turrets to ward off potential pirates, especially the more technologically adept Ravagers. It is unknown what modifications the colonists have made to the interior of this vessel since their conversion to the church, but a few comvids with its agents have confirmed a more decorative religious theme. Diplomats have not yet been welcomed aboard Sacrosanct. Sacrosanct. Of course, Sacrosanct. Okay, so that's the places that we've been as of now. We also have items. Do I want to read this? Okay, let's just make this quick. Oh no, we won't. Oh no, I can't. Chewbacca time. I can't make this quick. But I need to go right now. So next time we're going to dive into archives and items. So we're just one, maybe 2 episodes away from continuing the game. So, until next time.